You know, I was gonna say let's start this up before my dog starts barking, and the moment I picked up began to start recording, she started going off. But welcome guys to another episode of Elder Scrolls Lore. Now before we begin today, we are gonna take a shout out for the Discord chat. Feel free to join with the link in the description below or in the channel header. We talk about gaming, lore, just a bunch of other stuff. And then I also want to make a shout out to Aries' channel. Feel free to check it out. He has amazing music, so feel free to check that out. The link is in the description below for the channel as well. And other than that, not too much today in terms of news. Tomorrow I'm hopefully going to be able to get on to Dragon Age Lore and work on that because I have the day off of work. But with that being said, let's just hop into it. Today we're going to be talking about Cyrus the Restless. Wow, what an intro. Let's just roll credits. I'm kidding. Let's get on with it. Cyrus was born in Sentinel in either 831 or 834 of the Second Era and was the younger brother of Izara. During his younger years, he often met and spoke with Tobias, a half-Nord merchant, about becoming a pirate. In 852 of the Second Era, he attended a play with his sister which featured an actor named Hakan. Hakan and Izara soon fell in love and they married later that year. Hakan often spoke to Cyrus and trained him with the sword in combat to teach him a few tricks. Hakan's influence was often on the political situations such as the Forebear and Crown conflict and the ongoing Tiber Wars. Cyrus then confronted his father on the matter. His father was a loyal Crown who had negative opinions on his son-in-law for his Forebear affiliation. His father explained the conflict between the two factions from then on. In 854 of the Second Era, his father wrote a play in the night about the ancient Regatta from Yokuda defeating the orcs of Hammerfell to claim the land for their High King. This play was an attempt to solve the conflict between the two factions and ended up being a huge success, and a celebration party was held in a local tavern after it was finished, where both crowns and forebears attended in equal numbers. A 23-year-old Cyrus hosted the celebration, and his brother-in-law Hakan was not so impressed. In his drunken state, Hakan insulted the old playwright and challenged the also drunken Cyrus in sword combat. Izara pleaded with Hakan to stop, to which he responded with Izara with a slap to the face. They fought, and Cyrus emerged the victor, lunged a blow right in Hakan's chest, and following that event, Cyrus ran away, and Tobias took him in. Now, life as a mercenary between 855 and 864 of the Second Era, Cyrus worked for a Khajiit named Sarathra. Sarathra had sent him and Tobias to do a number of missions in High Rock and Skyrim, as well as Blackmarsh. At some point, he had sent Cyrus and Tobias to a slavery plantation of Tyr in Morrowind to free the Khajiit slaves held there. In a surprise attack, they ambushed Tyr and freed the slaves, but resulted in Tobias experiencing an arm injury. Following the event, Cyrus and Tobias went their separate ways, but still kept in touch via their employer. In 864 of the Second Era, Cyrus met with Sarathra in Wayrest at a tavern. Cyrus asked him about the next job he was about to be assigned to, but instead, Sarathra showed him a letter sent by Tobias. The letter involved his sister, who said no one had seen her for 3 months. This prompted Cyrus to buy a passage to travel to Stros Makai, and he went with Captain Brennan on his journey to the island. On his way to the island, Cyrus was confronted by 2 pirates of the Restless League who attempted to claim his ship. After defeating the pirates, the Restless League retreated. I don't know why that's such a tongue twister to me. But after arriving on the island, Cyrus received a letter from Tobias telling him that he was at Dragontail Inn. He met with his old friend and they had conversed. They had a long conversation which also mentioned the Eye of Argonia. Cyrus then met with Kothor, who tasked him with retrieving the amulet of Nangusta which is from the slow necromancer Nangusta on the island in exchange for gold. Cyrus went and retrieved the amulet, and then he returned to Emil Reichten, though Cyrus asked for information on his sister in return. After Reichten refused to give any, Cyrus then threatened him and killed his guards, but was later knocked out by Dram. Cyrus would then escape, but then went to go negotiate with the Restless League to see what they knew. He learned that they were rebel pirates fighting against the oppressive imperial rule on the island, and that Isara had become a member of the faction. Cyrus then went to the Daedric prince, Clavicus Vile, and learned that they were actually keeping his sister captive. He then killed Nangusta and entered the realm. After freeing her from her sleep, they escaped the realm. Cyrus discovered that Angusta's amulet was in fact the soul gem of Prince Atur, and that the Restless League had been keeping the prince in stasis. Cyrus had then traveled to the palace to retrieve the soul gem, and then discovered that the gem was being guarded by the dragon Nephilargus. Cyrus killed the dragon and then took the gem back to the League. Cyrus, Isra, Coil, and his mother Saban, and then the Restless League then attempted to resurrect the prince by using the soul gem. Saban cast a spell which broke the soul gem, and after the ritual, they presumed that the spell had failed. Instead, the prince chose to enchant his sword with his soul, and the sword became known as the Soul Sword. Disappointed, the Restless League lost faith in their cause, but Cyrus instead gave a rousing speech of how it was a victory. It was then discovered that the sword was capable of thinking and moving on its own, and the sword would guide him to the palace. Cyrus fought his way through the guards in the palace with the sword, and he ended up defeating the assassin Dran, who then ran off. He climbed out of the palace and fought Emil Reichten on a Dwemer airship. He then defeated the admiral, who in his last moments distracted Cyrus. This allowed the assassin Dram to hold a dagger at his throat, telling him to drop the sword. But once he did drop the sword moved on its own and killed Emil Reichten and then split Dram in half. Cyrus then took the sword and left the airship. Cyrus then met with Azara after the victory, and she was crowned the new governor of Stros Makai, but still negotiated with the Empire in order to have the island treated better, having it become an autonomous vassal state. It is unknown what happened to Cyrus after the events of Stros Makai, but he did return to do some mercenary work. His life remained as a tale by many sailors and pirates as a hero to the crowns. According to one such legend, Cyrus set sail upon his ship the Karak, and with a new crew of men, to search for the lost temple of the remnants of Yokuda and the famed glass opal of Nogru. There, he supposedly encountered and fought with the Khmeri god king of Morrowind himself, Vivek, ultimately to a stalemate. That is all we have today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, please like and subscribe. I know I have an end screen, but who cares? If you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. I know I was kind of in a rush today. I'm in a little bit of a rush in terms of my voice, but it's because I'm trying to hurry up and record audio so my dog doesn't start barking right away. But with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Peace. Hey guys, please like if you enjoyed this. Lets me know you're really liking the content and lets me know that you want more of it. And please subscribe if you want more content like this. I post 5 days a week and once bi-weekly with Dragon Age lore. And with that, I hope to see you guys in the Discord chat. Peace.